City traffic engineer comments. So, is it possible to bring safer routes to school? So that is something on our work plan, and it's very important to us, to the public. We never talked about it in any official matter. I know at some point I was trying to bring it up and discuss with Greg, but he's not here anymore. So from the city's point, who's taking that on, and how can we find out what's happening so far? What stage is the city at? Where can we help? Not just as commissioners, but the PTA president at one of the schools. I'm also a civil transportation engineer. So we all have each our own, not expertise, but our own community base and resources that we can support and help staff in whatever extent we can. So is this something that we can put it on the agenda item and just start brainstorming? I just wanted to be able to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and one item within the SMP, the Sustainable Mobility Plan, there is a Safe Routes to School section in that document. So it's in the main document, and then if you go to the appendices, you'll find that there are detailed maps that provide Safe Routes to School recommendations for all of the schools within Carlsbad. So that would be a good starting point. But to answer your question, yes, moving forward, once we do get to start looking at implementing these solutions, then they would come back to you before the commission, and we would discuss them and evaluate the projects that way.
So at the next meeting, since it is included in the SMP, then we can also discuss it.
Yes.
Or if we have any questions or any comments, or do we have to put it on the agenda?
You can discuss what's in the SMP. I would actually suggest, because the April agenda is going to be very heavy, I would suggest that you provide comments regarding that plan itself, and then we wait a month or two or several months to then agendize a specific item on safe routes to school, and we can give a presentation on what's included in the SMP, and then we can discuss specific items and plans for different schools.
Okay. The only concern is school is out in June,
Right.
and we're still having so many safety issues around it. So God forbid we don't want in this period of time for something to happen, an accident, right? So that's what I want to make sure that we are discussing it some way or another between the. We understand that we have a police presence there. They're just there for the traffic violations. We want to make sure that we have discussions about ways of getting to the school safely in other ways than cars. So that's my only concern, is when we can discuss it, that it's not going to be in June or past June, and something happens in the meantime.
Right. Two additional comments is we are meeting with the school district to talk about safety concerns that they bring up as well. And yeah, it's something that I would hope to put on the agenda before June, or I would say actually May or June. We do have pretty heavy agendas for the next several months, so we don't want to overwhelm you with
who would be the point
items.
of contact if, as residents, has questions about safe routes to school, or comments or concerns or anything? Nathan is the point of contact?
Yes, I'll be the primary point of contact. So go to me with the initial questions, and then we can work together on identifying who, if it's myself or John Kim, if it's an engineering question, we can work it out together.
Okay.
Also, in regards to that, also awareness or working with other.
Okay. Do we have any other, do you have any comments? We did our comments during your city traffic engineer comments. Do you have any comments, general comments?
Our traffic engineer, Mr. John Kim, is not here tonight. He provided his report, and hopefully your agenda packet, which you've seen. I don't know if you want me to go through any of the items or if you have any questions.
It's at the end of your book also.
Okay, does anybody want them to go over, or we can read it on our own?
Pretty self-evident.
Yeah,
Okay,
That stuff is good.
okay, so no.
Great.
Thank you.
welcome.
Any other comments from engineering? Okay, do we have traffic and mobility commission comments? Do you have Commissioner Perez?
I'm actually good. Thank you.
That's good. I think by now we're all pretty good. Commissioner Fowler, do you have any comments, general comments? Commissioner Pensier?
No.
Okay, Commissioner Hunter?
Yeah, just ask you guys again to take a look at PAR eastbound, particularly just west of ECR all the way through to Melrose. I said at this point in time, I can make it through the Chipotle light, and it still takes 2 light cycles to get past El Camino Real late in the afternoon. I mean, it's a quarter of a mile. I actually sent Doug about a year ago pictures of where all the traffic, where I was sitting at the Shell station, and then, you know, four cars from the light, you know, 2 minutes later, and then all the way through Melrose. It just, I don't know if it's a light timing thing. I know we have a ECR flow, and we also have a PAR flow. It just seems like there's something weird going on there. So it's nothing specific. I just it feels weird. You guys?
Yeah.
I can give you a very quick update. We're doing the adaptive
Okay.
upgrades, and that, you know, we will look in advance of that, but that will be retimed as part of that, and that is promised to be done by the summer.
Okay. And even with the, and that's at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so we're in the adaptive world at that point?
Yeah, and I'll take a look at that specifically to see if we can do something in advance without doing the whole quarter, but just real quickly, by
Okay,
summer,
cool.
we'll do that and do everything we can for 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Thank you, Doug. Vice Chair Johnson?
Yes, last meeting, I reminded that about a year and a half ago, the city said that they would change the speed zone on Avenidas Encinas, and John Kim came back with the information and said, yes, it was approved to reduce the speed zone to 35, and I think that was, he said, September 2018 that was approved. When is that going to be implemented?
We'd have to check with John on that.
It was based on having the restriping done. The
Mhm.
restriping is done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we'd have to check with John Kim and get back to you
Okay.
on the date. We'll report back.
If I can address that, after that you did that, I asked, and he sent the email out and said it was done in September, 18?
18.
I said, is that normal? And he said, no, that's not normal, and that it would be brought to the commission in the next couple of months. So that was an email back to me.
But the question is that the signs are not up? Is that what your concern is?
They haven't changed the,
So the
Speed zone,
signs,
yeah.
yeah, so the
Mhm.
signs haven't changed
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
lower speed.
But it still has to be approved, so
it was approved, he said, in his memo.
Yeah, we approved.
it hasn't been approved by the city council.
Oh.
That's where it's going in the next couple of months.
So you
Okay.
go to the city
But he
council
said this
to
is-
change all speed zones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
We vote
they
to
have
have
to
it,
do
and
that.
then they have to do it.
They have to do that.
Right, we're looking to
Um,
schedule it at a future city council meeting. It'll likely be on consent if we can.
Right.
Other meetings are like million hours long, so you
Right.
can't put anything else on it.
I do have a question. In reviewing the previous items brought up by the commission, there is a CIP 6034 on the striping changes to Melrose at PIR. Are we going to see those before, is there any way to see those, what it says right now, to look at it before you bring it to us?
Is that something that has been voted?
No, John threw that out there. It had to do with the Melrose 2-lane going north, and as they restriped the whole intersection, they were going to fix what they broke last time, and then also look at potential bike lanes and putting a green left turn lane, northbound Melrose onto PAR. So there was a bunch of things that he said he was going to try to do but we have no idea what the timing is on that, so.
Okay.
So I guess what you're saying, what's the timing, and do we get to look at it before they?
Yeah, I mean, if it's already
We can
in
work
draft
on it
form,
next
I'd
month.
like to look at it and make comments on it before it comes to us, I think.
Okay, all right, that's another,
If
we'll,
that's possible.
yeah, we'll check on that with John Kim or with our CIP group, and then get back to you on the
Okay.
status of it.
So again, some people are new, but one of the things we're looking at, we got rid of a whole 10 feet of line there, so we're thinking there's ways to better work with safety for bicycles and from a mobility standpoint, and can that be, kind of a first start for some of the other intersections around there from a bicycle safety standpoint.
Got it.
Because even though there's only a few of you, we want you to be safe.
I have another question for you to follow up on, please.
Yes.
A year ago, I had asked about the bicycle lane and right turn lane is in front of Costco. It goes from the most western driveway to the east, and they were talking about restriping that, so it would be dotted.
Okay,
If you could follow up on that, I'd appreciate it.
okay, and that again was at Costco,
Yeah,
in front of the Costco, at eastbound
In
PAR?
front of Costco, you have that huge long right turn lane,
Yeah,
and there's, how do you enter it and exit it, and
Safely.
cars and with bikes and stuff like that.
okay.
They talked about dotting some of it, and to make it clearer as to where the get into it and get out of it lane was. Right now, it's a solid from almost Armada
Right.
all the way back to Carl's Jr.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. Karen?
Yeah,
So we're good?
with respect to that was brought to us with
We can keep going, because now everybody's starting to have questions and comments.
Thanks.
Commissioner Fowler.
No, I just want to know, do you always navigate by fast food restaurants?
There are spots that everybody seems to know about.
Well, I know them, that's how I know.
Okay, yeah, he did bring that to us, and he showed us what he was planning to do with the
Yes,
dash.
you did. You weren't
crossing.
here.
You must not have been here.
Mhm.
So he did bring it to us, and he showed it to us what he was planning. Basically, it's just skip dash of the bike lane on both sides in front of the entrance to Costco. And when he did that, I asked him if he wouldn't consider making that skip dash green paint so that it, tells the cyclists, stay where you are, and tells the motorists, if there's somebody in front of you on a bike, don't run over them, just wait until you can make the turn safely.
I know that he was gonna put in a work order, but it's been a year, so.
Okay. We're gonna adjourn the meeting at 7:45 PM. I have to cut them off.
Thank you.